The organization conflict that was chosen is external, which involves Maxis and the customers. It was only in the beginning of last April where this conflict arose. GST, also known as Goods and Services Tax, came to effect on the 1st of April, and as expected, day one was met with no small amount of confusion and frustration from some Malaysians. GST is also known as VAT or the Value Added Tax in many countries and is a multi-stage consumption tax on goods and services. Just after the implementation of GST, there were several conflicts regarding the implementation which resulted in a chaotic situation. It all began with a customer who purchased a reload card at 7-Eleven and was furious over the fact that even that had GST implemented on it. Telecommunication companies receive a bulk of complaints about the GST on the purchases of prepaid phone reload cards, and this also includes Maxis customers. This particular issue was brought to light and hit all over the social media, from Twitter to Facebook. The Star reported that Maxis had confirmed increasing their prepaid reloads from 10 ringgit to 10.60 because they had not included the 6% service tax in prepaid reloads previously. In regard to the hues and cries of the public, a meeting was held between the Ministry of Finance and the Royal Malaysian Customs Department with 4 telecommunication companies following an uproar that the prepaid cards and reload are subjected to the GST. The wants and needs of all parties can be met by applying the relationship management theory in relation to this issue. After the discussion to meet the wants and needs of all parties in addressing this issue, it was decided that the telecommunication companies would be allowed to temporarily impose the GST on top of the prices with additional talk time for customers until May, which is a win-win situation for both as they have yet to decide on what will be the final decision, not until May. Also, as for the benefit and free ability to make a decision for the company, Subramaniam, director of GST, was reported to have met all telco companies, giving them 2 options, which are maintain the prepaid reload card prices with the 6% GST absorbed, or charge the 6% on top of the reload card price but give consumers additional talk time. In order to resolve this conflict through the relationship management theory, one way or another, all parties have to understand each other. Since GST was implemented by the government, and it is part of Maxis' responsibility to adhere to the rule, they had no choice but to attend to the customers regarding the reload card issues, which received a bulk of complaints. Therefore, it is solely up to the government to make the decision to remove the implementation on the GST, and both consumers and telecommunication companies have to bear with the weight of decision making to make. With hopes from both parties for mutual benefits, telco, for instance Maxis, and the consumers, that the government would remove the implementation of the GST, and hence telecommunication companies do not need to absorb the GST and lose profit, and also to avoid receiving additional complaints from the consumers. As for the consumer's benefit, the burden of the consumers will be lifted and they do not have to pay for unnecessary extra charges of GST when they purchase a reload card, as majority of the consumers comprises of low-income people and teenagers who are still studying. The type of relationship that Maxis and the public have is an organizational relationship. The organization focuses highly on the needs and wants by interacting with the organization and the public. The continuation of this relationship depends on whether the needs and wants of both parties are met. Finally, the relationship for Maxis and the public is based on symbolism, and it is a media relationship. A strong media relationship can lead to your becoming the go-to person in your industry or area of expertise.